CTN helps to build media capacity in Sierra Leone.
Fambul, Una Adu, and welcome to another edition of CTN Waetin De Pepul say, where they reach you from studios na Radio Mount Orel on FM 107.3 na Fabe College campus. Waetin De Pepul say na program where they look at one main issue or event of the week and get the views of people and where they present the edition of the program in a Patrick Yata content.
This na CTN.
Inside today's edition of the program, we dey look at the publication of the Commission of Inquiry report and the government white paper where they respond to the recommendations of the commission. For more on that, my workmate Lahai Jackson will witness the publication of the white paper report and it be put this report here together.
Let me conclude by formally receiving the reports, commission.
That na President Julius Madabio. They pull na do the white paper where they talk about government imposition for sake of the recommendation them where judges be make during the Commission of Inquiry. Where be the talk during the press conference. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice be start for talk about the mandate of the Commission of Inquiry. And same as say the white paper will cover all the expectation of Salon people them.
The mandate of the commissions included to inter alia inquire into and investigate persons who were president, vice president, ministers of state, deputy ministers, and heads and chairmen of boards of parastatal agencies in the respective public offices. They were also to examine their assets and other related matters to ascertain whether the persons of interest to the commissions maintain a standard of life above that which was commensurate to their official emoluments or owned or were in control of pecuniary resources or property disproportionate to their official emolument, or there were evidence of corruption, dishonesty, or abuse of office for their private benefits. The white papers contain the reaction of His Excellency's government to the recommendations in the report submitted to him. This publication will not only satisfy the constitutional requirements, but also the expectations of the general public as to the outcome of the commissions of inquiry.
Anthony Brewer be continue for say, not to the first 10 days, Salon don't get commission of inquiry. It be also say, the commission of inquiry where the current government be don't establish, be independent, transparent, and safe, give the people them freedom for can defend themselves.
Let me remind the general public that since the promulgation of the 1991 Constitution, several commissions of inquiry have been held by successive governments in the past. For example, in 2009, former President Ernest Bai Koroma and his government instituted a Commission of Inquiry by Constitutional Instrument Number 8 of 2009, chaired by EEC Shaz Moses, with a mandate to investigate incidences of political violence and intolerance that occurred in Freetown, Kenema, and Gendema in March 2009. The just concluded commissions of inquiry were impartially conducted as the commissioners gave the persons of interest the opportunity to defend allegations that were made against them. Regrettably, the majority did not turn up to account for their stewardship. That notwithstanding, it is straight law that unchallenged evidence is good evidence, and so the commissioners held.
It be end up for say, the white paper where the government don't pull na do, na just the start for take back waiting government officials them will be work under the former president Ernest Bai Koroma be don't take during the term where them be dey na office.
His Excellency the President will today make public the reports containing the work of the commissions and the government reaction in the form of the white paper. Finally, let me say that the official publication of the reports together with the white papers is just the beginning of a long process of retrieving what was unlawfully appropriated from the people of Sierra Leone, and that my office, together with other law enforcement agencies, is fully prepared to undertake the same.
Where be the talk for sake of the white paper? The President Julius Madabio be start for talk about the determination we in government get for fight against corruption, and also talk about the successes them we it don't make in the fight against corruption.
Our only option is to confront corruption head-on and fight it boldly and resolutely. It is a fight we must fight. It is a fight we must win because it is a fight for the very soul of our nation. We have made great progress over the last 2 years. National and international indicators have lauded our great success. We are encouraged by the success, but we must sustain the fight against corruption for our collective national good and for the future of our children and this nation.
President Julius Maada Bio continue for say, people and way become before the Commission of Inquiry, not be this so because of tribe, party, region, but become because of them be all public office na the country. And same way to say, the Commission of Inquiry go serve as example for the one them where they work under in government now.
All persons who were summoned to the commissions of inquiry, we are not summoned because of their ethnic group, their religion, or their political party. They were summoned because they had been entrusted with the supreme responsibility to serve Sierra Leone. It is their conduct as individuals and their decisions while they serve this country that were the subject of close scrutiny by the commissions. So these commissions of inquiry should also serve as a strong warning to serving officials that you have a duty of care to make the best decisions and act always in the best interest of citizens of this country and of the nation.
The president be continue for say, and government go fully implement the recommendation them.
Government has carefully looked at the report of the commissions and the recommendations. The white paper documents the recommendations the government has accepted in the best interest of the people of Sierra Leone. Unlike other commissions, citizens are assured that this government will fully implement all the recommendations. The reports of the various commissions of inquiry established by the constitutional instruments numbers 64, 65, and 67 of 2018 are officially published together with their white paper. Office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice is instructed to effect the recommendations of the commissions of inquiry, to recover all monies recommended to be returned to the people of Sierra Leone, and to confiscate all assets recommended to be confiscated and all other such penalties as recommended. Persons and entities affected by the recommendations are guaranteed a peaceful and transparent judicial appeal process through which they can seek relief.
President Julius Maada Bio end up for say, the law go bet anybody we go tinap before for disturb we in government go to implement the recommendation them where it dey inside the white paper.
So let me therefore caution every Sierra Leonean that the rule of law is supreme in this country. Those who may wish to incite or engage in unrest and violence in order to obstruct the process of implementing the full enforcement of the recommendations will be subject to the full force of the law. This is not the last of investigations into corruption by former leaders. ACC and other law enforcement agencies are mandated to investigate issues that the commissions of inquiry did not have sufficient time to investigate. Investigations, arrest, and prosecution for corruption will continue as long as they are permissible within the laws of our country.
From State House, me, we make this report reach you. My name, na Lahai Jackson.
Fambul, in case you just dey join me, not forget say they listen to CTN Waetin De Pepul say, where they reach you know from studios na Radio Mount Towel on FM 107.3 na Fabe College campus. My workmate Sidiki Fofana be catch up with Abdul Karim Habib, where in are the national coordinator of the Network Movement for Democracy and Human Rights, and this he gets for say about the government white paper reports.
Well, honestly, if we are afraid because other people don't get for be agreed, I also want to call us really and say the people they say that for pay we things that we them will not take now hand and by the unlawful way, therefore give we lawful back. Let the citizens know say them people that don't do we wrong. We they ask them now where the people of this country they ask them for let them go back and correct their mistake that we don't do. So I don't think say therefore bring anything where somebody for say at this present time, not to the right time this. Yet now people have your opinion. But me think say there is no time in this world for do correcting. If that is the correct thing, at any time day for that, any time is good for do correcting. You understand? So that is it. What we are saying. We think say them people and then I had them born. They are citizens of this country. They get right to this country resources, but the legal way. You understand? If the Commission of Inquiry find out say they be able get a wealth, ill-got wealth, then they not able for really defend themselves. But the whole thing also again, the Anti-Corruption Commission will only advocate for them. The asset declaration let be public. This secrecy, all now they bring this. If the asset declaration is in public, people they know say, Sidiki, where they can at this office and this blah 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 you get to. You understand? And this now in salary, where even when they travel now, this now in per diem, this now in allowances. So at the end of the people they accumulate compared to which you don't get at the end of the day. But this secrecy about ACC, people asset declaration, that is the problem why citizens say this is not to the right time.
Sometimes you have to do with the willingness. How many people willing for declare their assets?
Fine, where you know willing now, that is where we are today. Because according to the report, there are people where their name appear on the report, they not be grieved for declare their assets. Now they don't fall this kind of thing. So you understand? I believe say the reason why people they refuse for declare their assets because already they don't get this kind nester. He got words. You understand? Let me they know how for putter. People know. And it's in you understand? So me believe say I want to talk to the citizens say anytime, not the right time for do the correct thing. If we people who don't give the job, we say let them come this stewardship of their whatever the job we don't give them. Now the right time this. We not for say
even when we battle with hate speech issue that the country right now.
Yes, that hate speech honestly also we dey talk to the people then where me feel say wetin they do not correct to this country. But not the reason why we for hold on that. Probably you don't even know whether maybe now for this commission of inquiry people they say well for let the commission of inquiry not happen. Let we get for people mobilize people then they go do half thing there. You understand? So me just want for call us ready now for be responsible, for care for this country, for care for ourselves.
That's now Abdul Karim Habib, the national coordinator of the Network Movement for Democracy and Human Rights, will talk to my workmate Sidiki Fofana. I be same so catch up with some people about the government white paper and how this then gets for say.
Mina Ansumana Keta, the executive director for the Patriotic Advocacy Network, where they call PAN. Well, the reports, the white paper reports, first I want for and give kudos to everybody involved in this commission of inquiry. To me, I take and say the white paper reports now something way. The white paper recommendation from the Commission of Inquiry na something way it is serve as something for come and open and stop corruption na salon. The report will be from 3 commissions, so as a way the country as a whole, and then an act of the Constitution. If you look at chapter 9 of the Constitution, where give rights to commission of inquiries, and this commission of inquiries then bring out the findings, and the findings we see the President Bio, he adopt some of them findings there, and some of them he reject them. You understand? So as a Sierra Leonean, as a loving Sierra Leonean, when you go through the report of the 3 commissions, it's very, very appalling. You feel sorry for this country because some of the amounts them where the reports talk for say people stakeholders people away and trust this country too. Then thief automatically is so disheartening. And now what I want to tell people for say the ruling of the Commission of Inquiry, the white paper recommendations, the equivalent to the ruling of the High Court of Justice na Sierra Leone. So if I talk for say them people don't convict them already, the High Court, the Commission of Inquiry don't convict the people there, and they will only be saved if they appeal to the Court of Appeal. And also if the Court of Appeal do ruling, they can forward the case to the Supreme Court, when at the last court in the land who say they will seek redress. So as we talk right now, from now to the next 90 days, all waiting day inside the recommendation from the Commission of Inquiry white paper report recommendations, everything binding and lawful. So the misperception and the rumors where people they talk for say their laws they no binding or lawful or illegal make people not follow then talk then do everything lawful.
So Mr. Keta OBC say then get the one then way they and find say they misuse their office 90 days in order for refund in state money and same way so properties. If not, they will confiscate some of them properties then way they happen forget. You think say this time also enough?
Let me make it clear. Anybody will read the report be say 30 days when 1 month. Now the government say make the extend that to 3 months. You understand? This year so if you know for say you thief money or you bill host, when the host na salon people and money you use, automatically you for return their host then. And one of my recommendation if they return their host then they for use them for hospital, school, something very very meaningful towards the growth of the country. Now in another line, within the next 3 months, if you feel aggrieved, you know for saying a lie they lie by you, or you dare against the Commission of Inquiry white paper recommendation, conviction, within them 3 months then day, you will get a lawyer, you sound lawyer for do an appeal for you. When you do an appeal for you, the appeal court will stop first the execution of them and their conviction and then penalties then they will then put against you. So the appeal court will stop them and look into the matter, maybe it pass 3 months. So now it's two waiting. If you know for say you not agree with waiting the white paper talk, you can appeal. If you know for say you agree, after 3 months, you for vacate the hosting.
So let's take a look at chapter 2 where we talk about the investigation into the Ebola response. We don't get Boku civil society organizations and concerned citizens them where then we don't they talk more on this say they misuse the Ebola fund and same way so some of the ex-Ebola survivors and patients then don't they talk say they don't neglect the vaccines then don't recover from Ebola. So what do you make up of this?
It is simple. In 2014, if you get your Montreal can remember, PAN as an organization, we launched a campaign, Left We Country Ebola, for which now we use real personal money for and advocate to people talk about the ills of Ebola and the problems how for drive away Ebola of title and Left We Country. And within that context then we began sensitization. We'll be one people and for say not eat Ebola money. Ebola money na people and money, na health money, na blood money. If we all can remember, if we truthful to ourselves, there was a time when the past president, the then President Koroma, he began a gathering na State House with overseas people. He warned them for say, I don't want to make una not eat Ebola money. Didn't think they are going to find out about the Ebola money, not to things they were new to be.
Pambul, in case you just join me, don't forget say they listen to CTN Waetin De Pepul say, where they reach from studios na Radio Montreal on FM 107.3 in Afabe College campus. Inside today's edition of the program, we will look at the publication of the Commission of Inquiry report and the government white paper where they respond to the recommendation of the commission. And where they present the program to UNU, Mina Patrick Yatakonte.
The Commission of Inquiry na something where it make a lot of people in this country know how government they run, what's in the happen at then office system, the kind money where they pass na offices, how people that they use their offices, how people that they misuse their offices them, and a lot of things them. We learn a lot from the Commission of Inquiry. That being said, make I come to the Commission of Inquiry if it's a proper. The Commission of Inquiry then set them up for make sure see the past leadership of ex-president now, and it's by Krumah, some of the ministers, some of the directors them, then look into how they may run their offices them. But the process of itself from the beginning of it been get small problem. It gets small problem in the sense that the instrument them, I don't know how they will call it inside Creole, but the things that way they been take for set up the Commission of Inquiry, according to the members of the opposition party, they not been happy. They get what's in lawyers that they call the rule of evidence, where they may miss out inside the Commission of Inquiry. So from that time, the National Center for Human Rights and Development been done the follow-up on the whole process from where the past government then take up that issue. Say, we will not deny the Commission of Inquiry. We want the Commission of Inquiry, but the rule of evidence for be established. If the rule of evidence is not established, then there is a hidden agenda for the Commission of Inquiry. So right from there, we from the National Center for Human Rights and Development became interested in the whole process and start monitoring the process.
So what you get for say about this white paper? So how credible you think say it be?
Why we say the white paper is credible or not credible is because if one look at them critically, now it make at the really hinge what they talk on first the acceptance of the Commission of Inquiry that the people of Sierra Leone may accept them, even including members from the opposition party, they may accept them. But something be missing, and we all been talked to the government then for saying no, we're not miss this thing out. We wanted the vote controller that now permanent secretaries, then for them be involved into the Commission of Inquiry. So the rule of evidence, once we don't miss out from that point, now the castigation begin. Now the accusation then begin they come. Some people that may feel say now some particular people the way then they attack. And we also see the white paper, the way the white paper come out, they tell you CTN and the listeners them, we from the National Center for Human Rights and Development, we're not happy.
Right.
We're not happy in the sense that some names are left out in this country, not to name them where they will be left out, because we know them, they were corrupt. They were corrupt people then. So singling out certain amounts of people and leaving out some amounts of people then, you know, it tell we a little bit follow up the process. It tell we say, well, government needs to explain why. We need further explanation as to why some ministers were left out, as to why some directors who have been served with the previous government were left out, you know, and why some people their name come aboard. Then when you look at the report again critically, there were a lot of mismatch, a lot of things that they where they alert people them for. Some of those people were not in offices by then term them. Some were in offices, but they were not called. You know, this whole process is fine. Me fun with them. But the due process might not be followed. When they've been done with this report, then for don't get back to the people them where they may allege interest people them, people of interest, then for don't call them and say, hey, Mr. X, now this then say you do. Can't watch them. Can't see if this money where they say you eat, you indeed eat them. It's a laudable venture. It's a very good process. That we from the National Center for Human Rights can say it's a laudable venture. I want for repute them. It's a very good process, but the process been get a lot of flaws. Been get a lot of things that way that been missed out, and that is why a lot of critical minds out there are saying, some then they say regionalistic, some then say tribalistic, some then say partisan, and many other people then get their opinion about the white paper.
We'll take a look at chapter 2 of the white paper. We get to be with the investigation into the Ebola response. We don't see for a long time civil society activists and other people then don't they talk about the Ebola response and some of the money then will be there inside the Ebola. But we see according to the white paper there were a lot of embezzlement be happening where they name some people them and then talk to them people and they for refund the money. If they not refund the money in 90 days, we then give them from the publication of this white paper. So the government for confiscates them properties them.
Yeah, thank you very much. The issue of Ebola been gets a lot of things for do with both the international community and the local community. And I quite believe say the international community, especially then NGOs and then government institutions that would have been involved into the implementation of the Ebola funds and not being ready for the account to the government of Sierra Leone. So from the beginning of the COI, we see some liturgy in them. They not be accepted. For them, they say the process was okay, all what happened, that being a pandemic, it was an emergency, you know. So going back again for say people them for return the money, that I don't know how it is going to happen.
Well, now so the program they left for today. If you miss half of the old program, don't forget to listen to the repeat broadcast we will come to on Sunday. On behalf of the team, we produce and present this program. Mina Patrick Yatakonte.
This na CTN.